I'm just honestly intrigued to see if Neon do go down the route where we feel like they need those roles, and they bane. So I don't know. I think this is very single target. I think your team fight is definitely something that's a bit of a concern. It could of course get to the stage with a Visage. You might just look to end the game really early around like AC and 15 timing.
Seconds remaining.
I kind of want to see them Naga Siren into this. I think it just
5
provides them a
seconds
lot of that
remaining.
lockdown that they need. If someone gets Fiend's Grip, you can just Song to be able to break it. Lots of different little instances of damage for a Visage to have to contend against. The Riptide armor is going to enable the Ember Spirit a lot. I kind of like the Naga here, as opposed to a PL or a Terrorblade or just other swarming style of heroes.
Yeah, I have no issues with Naga.
Maybe still the PL, right? Just because you're going to be able to doppelgang out of the cogs.
So
that's about it.
Yeah, firstly, my issue with Naga is I think it's it's a specialty hero. I don't know if Mango Rose feels comfortable with playing it or not. Obviously, he's very comfortable with the PL. They can go down that route if they see fit. I mean, Illusion's very good versus Visage. You can get out of the cogs. Again, Illusion's very good versus Bane. We saw prime example of last game, but the big issue is you have 2 answer picks to the PL. So maybe you might just look to... I don't think they'll get it in the last phase. It's probably going to be banned out, especially with how good of a PL game it already looks. So this is the tricky thing for Atlantis. Of course, 16th, 17th, you're going to put a lot more of your reserve time into this. These are really the main important picks, but this is where you're crunching the brain. Like, do we feel... Ooh. Okay. Dawnbreaker. I like this. I think this hero, if you can get the right items, I think this hero can be very strong.
I wonder where it's going to be played. I almost feel like this might be a 5 Dawnbreaker, just because you're going to have the ability to get out of cogs, which is going to be the lane that you're getting testing into, and it's again a lot of those small instances of damage that you're going to have to deal with the Visage, right? Honestly, level 2 on Dawnbreaker is one of the strongest lanes out there, and they do end up going the PL. At least this time around, you can itemize on the Bane to go into the Aghanim Shard, just to be able to deal with those PL illusions somehow.
Yep.
I mean, you gotta just, like, you gotta Pango into this, right? And you have to actually Maelstrom into it. Just something that's going to be able to deal with all those. I mean, that's another option, for sure. The Leshrac, just be able to make life a little bit easier, to be able to contend into the Ember Spirit, perhaps, and, well, as long as you're being protected against those PL illusions from the Diffusal, of course, you're going to be having a decent time.
It gives you a lot of AoE damage that they were lacking in, like, of course, for the PL, but besides the PL, again, we were speaking a lot about Neon were very single target, and like you said, Tower. So now also it's someone who can group up. I mean, Visage with 6 can kind of help taking towers, but it's now a lot easier with the edicts to take those objectives. And I think it does fit very well with kind of the style that I think they were going to build with this Visage Clock and Bane. So Lesh always has been known for a very good answer into the Phantom Lancer. So we are now looking at our offlane hero for WS. Maybe, is there any potential of this actually being? Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm just thinking, like, they seem to think... I'm also considering, like, how early does this Leshrac need to go a BKB? Obviously against the Phantom Lancer, but even just against the Coddle, right? You get the Solar Bind, and suddenly you're so much slower, you're not actually able to connect onto the heroes that you want to. Which is another aspect for sure. They go the Chaos Knight. So it is the 5 Dawnbreaker.
Ooh.
I mean, CK Coddle, strong lane too. So, you know, it's just another one of those combinations that's going to work really well.
You can't
I don't hate this.
You? Is Tiny there? Yeah, Tiny's there. I saw someone Sven, I think, in...
I mean, Jug. You can Jug into this. Deals with a PL as well. If you go the spin magic route.
Yep. I'd probably prefer Jug and Tiny then. The only reason I brought up Sven is just because I saw it recently.
Jug Sven, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, just something that's able to stand there and fight against this lineup. They are still lacking a little bit of that instant damage. Monkey King's not bad either. You know, just again, another aggressive lane. This is going to be a Battle Fury Monkey game 4. I was about to say 4 sure. Could it be Maelstrom?
I don't know. I do not like this pick. I do not think.
What don't you like about it?
I don't think he's gonna have a good lane. I think. Well, how much they did nerf the Chaos Bolt damage a lot, but
the lifesteal from Chaos Strike.
Yeah, that is a good point. The thing I'm looking at in this lane is that you stun into blast, and I don't think Monkey King is going to have health to be able to actually fight into this lane. I think they're going to bring him down very low. They play the distance. Neon have to get ahead of the trades early on and the resource battle. If they don't, then I do think that lane can actually be a bit difficult. My also concern in this is that Bell might have to go like. I think I thought the route for Neon was trying to end the game early, but now I think you picked a hero that doesn't have ways to deal with illusions, so you kind of have to go like Battle Fury or Maelstrom. Hopefully it's Maelstrom just so he comes online earlier, but I don't know if it's enough of a carry to deal with Phantasm, to deal with the PL as well. You're putting a lot of emphasis on Lesh.
You are, for sure. I mean, maybe they were also just wanting something else that's going to be able to go in onto the backlines. You can't rely entirely on this clockwork. I think a big part of this game is going to be killing the Keeper of the Light without requiring the Leshrac to pop the BKB, just because it's going to be so important as that to contend up against a Phantom Lancer with that Diffusal Blade, against the CK who's wanting to stun you, and against the Ember Spirit, of course, that's just going to be dealing out a lot of that magic damage himself. So I think maybe that just little bit of extra vision could be what they're going for. I'm trying to think of a way that this Monkey King is going to be able to accelerate. Of course, the item build that we've been talking about. I mean, the Boundless Strike is decent as well, I suppose, and the Tree Dance. You can also, if you're getting the second Roshan, the Mischief with the Aghanim Shard is a nice tool. Sorry, Enryu has to be a little bit careful here. Certainly not wanting to put yourself onto the front lines as a Visage early on. One of the squishiest heroes in the game. If you get the shard on the Monkey King, you can just disjoint the Chaos Bolt, which might enable you to turn around a team fight. So, I don't know. I'm stretching here.
So
I'm going to say Atlantis.
Okay.
30 seconds to battle.
Well, so my concern with the Leshrac, because I think I think for Neon, this is you're putting the player who's been with them, of course, the second longest. I think Enryu's been there the longest now. But in Avatar mode, he's going to be the reason why they win this game. He has to absolutely pop off. Hold that thought, because we might have a bit of a brawl going on. Well, heroes being shown towards his bottom side. Radiant should win out on this with the blast damage, as Chuan's falling pretty low for the moment. Battery Salt is going to slow down their ticket. Meanwhile, Ponyo, though, eats a full charge of the Soul Assumption. And Enryu, okay, Ayad does get that last right click in before he's able to scurry on away. So in the end, it will be a 1-for-1, but Neon find that first blood.
That all-important first blood. I'm pretty sure he was able to spend it too. So he's got the full null talisman now available on Enryu, as well as the Sage's Mask. So very nice pickup for him early on, considering you're going to be wanting to spam out that Soul Assumption in this lane. Just be careful of going too far forward, though. I mean, you just TP'd back, and Clockwork isn't there just yet.
Chuck out a Lance. Ponyo's already spammed out his ability as well. So how are you expecting this lane to actually shape up for the Visage into the double melee?
A little rough, to be honest. I mean, again, I was saying before, level 2 on Ponyo is going to be where they're just looking to constantly make plays and play super aggressively against this Visage. It's so strong. He just needs to make sure that he's got the consistent mana pool to be able to make that contesting happen. I think a good way to go about doing that, of course, he's got the Gauntlets of Strength for now. Just get a wand. I mean, you're up against two heroes that love to spam out their abilities.
And mid lane for Wonderboy on the Ember against Avatar mode on the Leshrac. I do think this is going to be a little bit more Lesh favored.
Hot lane.
Uh-oh, they're getting aggressive on into Enryu, and dead, and also Chuan might be in trouble as well. Well, it is on cooldown, so Chuan's able to reposition.
Really thought he'd be able to get off that Soul Assumption there on the Visage, and well, luckily his TP's just come off cooldown, but yeah, Ponyo doing exactly what he needs to, right? Be that beefy one on the front lines.
in trouble, actually. WS is going to have another Chaos Bolt up. What? Okay, the Iron Branch, it's not enough. They get a high roll. Oh, that's so lucky they got a high roll.
Eat the branch. It's so value.
There you go. Just saying in the draft. I don't know. I'm worried for this lane. It all comes down to the battle nutrition in the early levels, and Bell's coming back out. Full set of tangos for him. 7 tangos on the Bane. Yep. So, well, why is Bell buying a set then?
Honestly, good question. He needs to make sure that he's snowballing off this mid lane. Sorry, off this top lane, just being able to be super greedy. We'll see if they're able to do so. Again, like, they're just gone for really strong lanes on Atlantis. You know, obviously we've seen Mango Rose just being an absolute beast in the last game with a PL. They picked heroes that are going to punish that. The early draft decisions from Neon. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of this Neon draft, to be honest.
Okay, so again, I do think the big reason why they win this game is the Lesh and the early timing they're going to get from Visage level 15 and taking objectives. They will absolutely rip through any buildings. And you have, like, on paper, your Lesh very much deals with the PL illusions and will deal with the Phantasm. But my concern this game about Avatar mode is Lesh has got a very, very low armor pool. And your agi game is not the greatest, 2.8. And I feel like in a game like this, because he needs to be, honestly, the win condition, I think he has to go very aggressive items to help the mana pool and help his damage output. Like Bloodstone may be a consideration, Kaya and Sons.
I mean, Shiva's for sure, though, this game. It's a pretty good Shiva's game.
So my concern is that if... I think they can kill him a lot of times before he gets to Shivas. He has to get an armor item because the CK will blow him up before the Phantasm's killed off with the minus armor from the reality rift. So my big concern is before Avatar mode gets Shivas.
I think he just needs to prioritize it, to be honest. Okay. Like, it's just a really good game for it. And, well, his lane's not going to be easy for sure. They might even look to make an aggressive move, but Wonderboy prioritizing getting the water rune. Good that he did because Seth was there to be able to prevent that. But yeah, like, you're up against a Phantom Lancer, you're up against a Chaos Knight. Like, you're just going to get so much value out of a Shivas this game, plus your own survivability.
They're going to dive Mango Rose bottom. He's wanting to hang on Mango Rose to turn back around, so... Oh. Thank you. Oh, yes, give him a sell. Why not?
Ugh.
You hate it. It's so funny to see. You absolutely despise this self now. Just seeing a support you over. So that's a huge rotation for the supports to pick up. You force the hold that thought, top lane. Oh, WS, he cut down the tree. They might be able to get the kill if they've got the stun into the blast. Oh, WS, beautifully done. And now Seth is going to try and get the brains up. Ayad's going to go back for it. Oh, no. He refreshed the abilities at least, so WS should be able to get a double kill. Man, what a play. CK finding Monkey on the tree line and getting 2 kills thanks to that.
I think you're totally fine with this, right? Like, sure, you end up giving your kill away on the coddle, but it's fine, right? You just want to make sure that the CK is having the best time imaginable so that you're consistently able to layer out that burst damage with your, like, very high physical damage that we've been talking about, right? This is what you need against the Lashrak, so giving up that sort of trade, you're fine with it. Bot side, Ponyo has to be a little careful here. He's already used his Celestial Hammer.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's going to put Ponyo in a bit of an awkward resource pool to be able to move mid and try and secure one of the runes. He's going to go to bottom with Wonderboy. Top lane is already guaranteed thanks to the Bane's positioning.
Bountiful.
Get the bounty on Ponyo. I mean, he's gone for the boots, which, again, I don't hate, but I just feel like the wand would have been such
Don't let him seal it with Sly. Do not... Okay.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They were able to, with that movement as well, make sure that the siege creep went down underneath the tower, so Wonderboy did a good job of
lane again, the Monkey's in trouble. Blast has already been used, along with the stun, but they're going to chase him down. Oh, Danog! Oh, I don't know, man. This is your last pick, Monkey.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the thing is, would it have been any better with a Tiny or a Sven? Probably not, to be honest, right? Certainly not the Tiny.
I don't know.
It would not have been any better. I will answer the question for you.
But I guess the thing is, he would have been able to jungle early. So maybe if even if it wasn't poor, that also Monkey King could provide them something in the early game that they feel like those heroes couldn't have.
Yes, I mean, the argument is there that the Monkey King could just go for, like, 3 points Tree Dance and 1 point Jingu, you know, to be able to rotate through that jungle and go down that route instead.
Yeah, that's... Oh, having that second point in Jingu, he's going to be kicking himself for doing that now. He's very much going to be difficult for him to catch back up. Ponyo should be able to get this free ward as well, bottom, so going to lose a lot of vision for Neon to play with. And you see Mango Rose is already back jungling. As soon as you get that level up on the juxtapose, you don't really need to play the lane.
Trying to make sure that he doesn't get smashed by the Hellbear Smasher.
Top lane, Bane might be in a bit of trouble. Awkward Chaos Bolt and Nightmare timing, so it's able to reposition the tower, but... Alright, how looking at the mid lane, the heroes with the Ember and the Leshrac, how are we really expecting them to put the pace onto this game 3? Is it more just kind of farming from either of them, or is one going to get a little bit more active?
I mean, to be honest, it feels like Wonder Boy is pretty happy with just sitting back and constantly just keeping these lanes out.
Balance should be able to get the kill. They've even rotated Chuan as well, but Clockwork is not going to catch up to WS.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Going down the route of the Soul Ring instead of the one. So, I mean, I understand it. It's just being a little bit greedy for mine. I think you want to have impact now. This is the big strength of the Dawnbreaker. It's also going to allow you to get up onto that level 6 if you're able to convert, staying in the lane, getting that experience into kills. And where's he going on the Ember Spirit? Just back to base, I guess.
Is under attack.
I just think it's so important to be able to pick up these early levels on Ponyo. So him roaming, it's nice to be able to, you know, get some of these stacks up, but I think the value isn't quite there when, well, Avatar mode probably going to be able to get this kill onto him.
Oh, that is very awkward. Goes to the right instead. So nicely done, Ponyo. Even going to now drop a ward down too, so maybe they might not be expecting that. We'll see.
Even just Seh, right? He went into the little bit more value for survivability. He had Arcane Boots queued up for quite some time. I was thinking maybe someone needed to go into a Lotus Orb on Neon's side. And if he went the Arcane, then he might be able to go into that eventually. But I just feel like it's so important for him to get that AoE Brain Sap against the PL.
Oh, Wonder Boy, he's able to cancel the TP with the chains. Oh, no. You can't be... He needs to have a flawless game, really, with the Leshrac, and they're going to be able to collapse on Seh's positioning, too. There you go. This is how Ponyo can start to get some experience. They're going to make sure they get the kill next to the Dawnbreaker, so up to level 5, and meanwhile, top lane, this tier 1 tower is also going down, so Atlantis, they are starting to grow a pretty decent lead.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I mean, I'm not the hugest fan of this PL with the build going into the Yule Scepter. Yes, you're going to be able to avoid the Searing Chains. Yes, you're going to be able to perhaps dodge out the Chaos Bolt, but that's not my main concern. I mean, I feel like you need a BKB early on, and you need this armor item, and this isn't going to provide either. So with Avatar mode, making that rotation down towards bottom, looking to connect through with the Visage, as well as the Siege Creep with the maxed out Diabolic Edict. If this potential team fight doesn't go well for them, it's a complete disaster.
I wonder what to call now for Atlantis, because you know this is kind of the only play that Neon really have. I don't think you can defend bottom. I think you just take mid. And get the Coddle just soaking the dead lane. So easy kill for Avatar mode to be able to find. And yeah, this tier 1 tower is going to go down. But yeah, really my question was like, what do you do from Atlantis? Do you kind of tickle top a little bit? Do you keep farming, or do you bring multiple heroes to try and at least bring down the mid tower to about half?
I think you bring multiple heroes. I mean, WS was farming the jungle at the time. Again, being that person that's revealing a little bit closer in more dangerous areas and allowing Mango Rose to get that farm. It's the exact same formula that we saw last game. But as soon as that rotation went bot... Oh, actually...
Great angle, is able to find WS. They still got the Phantasm to play with, so it's going to get a little bit of distance on the Chaos Knight, and with the Blinding Light pushback, WS is going to be okay, but they're going to turn to Ponyo instead with the Fiend Scoop for the backline. Wonder Boy is going to try and deal with the Bane with the Remnant on. Wonder Boy's got the damage finally, though. And Ryu chucks up the Soul Assumption, so they're able to get the trade 1 for 2, but Bella's in trouble. The Monkey King carry entered the fight. And he wasn't able to have any impact as Atlantis. They kept the Chaos Knight alive, and they were able to win the trade.
You just cannot take that fight without your Maelstrom on the Phantom, on the Monkey King, excuse me. Like, what are you going to do? It just feels like this Pos 4 Coddle is as farmed as the Monkey King. That's how bad the situation is right now. And that was without Dawnbreaker being able to get off the ultimate as well. If she literally survived on a couple more HP, you would have been able to re-engage even stronger with that Solar Guardian.
Yeah, meanwhile, Mango... yeah, Mango Rose is farming across the map. Top of the net worth here. He's got the Diffusal already completed, so, yep, that's very fun for Chuan to already lose pretty much 2/3 of his mana. I'm trying to think of if it's going to be a different item build for Mango Rose this game or not, because he is into the harder counter into the Leshrac. At the moment, he didn't go Sanjin Yasha last game, did he? What did he go?
On the Lesh?
On the PL.
On the... Ooh, let me try to remember. I think he did.
Okay. What, so it was Diffusal, Sanjin Yasha, Heart?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Butterfly after that.
Bottom lane, Ponyo is going to be in some trouble. It's already used the Celestial Hammer, so with Anu Ryu wrapping around, Wonder Boy's going to TP down, and they're actually going to cut off the retreat on Enryu's WS inside the jungle. Alright, so you're not only dealing with one carry in the Phantom Lancer, you've now got a second as well with how WS has had an incredible start to this game. He's 4-0-3 and pretty much the same net worth as the PL.
Same net worth as the PL. Keeper of the Light, enabling not just him, but the Ember Spirit as well. Honestly, even the Dawnbreaker, right? Just your damage output is so high on Atlantis right now. And what can you even do to contest against this? I mean, Ponyo's gone back again and completed up the full Magic Wand instead of finishing up the Soul Ring. And, well, he's actually got the Soul Ring coming out to him now. So, beyond this, I just don't know how you're going to contest against this. It's hard to kill anyone on Atlantis, and their damage output is just so much greater. And
for Neon, this is, again, really needed to be a lineup that snowballed. And especially with the Leshrac and Clockwork, like, it's going to get to a stage where Clock, he can hookshot in, but he's going to die instantly. Like, this can really be this big issue with the hero that you can get your jump, but sometimes it just feels like you die instantly inside the Cogs top lane. This is an opportunity. Seb was able to find the Phantom Lancer farming, but there's the extra HP regen coming back thanks to Ponyo. They cancel out the Fiend's Grip. Now the rotations have shown up as well, and there's nothing Chuan can do. He's going to hide in the trees, or maybe the Avatar mode. No, just out of range. Drag back thanks to the Reality Rip. So they keep the Phantom Lancer alive, and across the map, and Ryu, he's even got another kill onto a core. So this is going from bad to worse as Neon have no answers to Atlantis in the early game.
Would have gone slightly better for Neon. I was just seeing there when Chan was TPing out, a lot of people like to maximize the amount of gold that they're able to get before buying the next item. He had enough gold to buy this Urn of Shadows before he TP'd out, and he was actually in range after they got the initial kill there. And so the fact that they weren't able to convert that and potentially toss the Urn charge onto Mango Rose, like if they get a kill onto the PL with that Urn, suddenly you're kind of okay, because probably someone else gets away. You're not going to have the Diffusal Blade for the follow-up. So just, again, one of these tiny little mistakes that explode into so much more.
I personally didn't know of this matchup being like this, but Dawnbreaker looks very good versus the Bane just for your Fiend's Grip answer. Like, you're more... I think you might have to go Aetherlens to have a longer cast range, so you're not in... The hero you're Fiend's Gripping, you're not in his vicinity of the Dawnbreaker ultimate, because we saw if your reactions are pretty fast, you're going to get... For one, you get the healing, which is just really good against that single target burst, but you will eventually cancel the Fiend's Grip as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it's good for multiple heroes. Well, Bane going to be able to cancel out that smoke, so at least provide a little bit more survivability for our Visage.
Oh, no,
I feel like, speaking of...
No way! Oh, alright, you got big troubles now. I mean, it's already 10,000 net worth lead, but if you can blow up the Leshrac just like that, This game, I don't think it gets any easier. Oh,
this is what I was talking about with the Yules, right? It doesn't provide that armor. It doesn't provide that spell immunity. You're just going to get run down every single time. Even things like the Solar Bind, right? You'll get it put onto you. You might be able to toss yourself out to dispel, but then once you land, you're a sitting duck.
And Mangaro's going to get a solo kill.
Yeah.
And he just died. Just TP'd to the outpost. And just died again, and he almost... This is really not looking good.
So, Coddle's about to overtake every hero on Neon. Feels good, man. If you're in his shoes.
What a hero, right? Thanks for the nerves. Very cool.
I think Coddle 4 is fine.
Very true. It's still, yeah, I'm fine with that. I just, in regards to how you can scale, I mean, we're seeing it. Like, he's, like you said, going to be very close to overtaking Neon's lineup. What do you do for Neon? Like, is there even an angle back into this game?
I think they just need this BKB on Avatar mode. It's as simple as that, but the downside is it's going to take so long until he's able to pick it up. The push on Atlantis isn't amazing, so I think if I'm Neon, I'm playing on this bottom side of the map as much as possible. For multiple reasons, right? You're able to... Oh, Chuan just off the mark there with the hook shot. Wasn't able to land onto Ponyo. But it's for multiple reasons, right? If you're pushing bot side, that's not where Atlantis want to be. They want to be pushing top. They want to be pushing mid. Even this Roche, I guess it's kind of fast, but it's an objective that you have to give up just to enable getting those couple of extra items at this stage of the game. And as well, if they were able to land that kill onto the Dawnbreaker, she's one of those heroes, kind of like the Spectre, that can just play completely away from the team because you're going to be able to get the Solar Guardian off and join the rest of the team fight. There's no Nyx Assassin with the Spike Carapace. There's no Global Silence to be able to stop that connection from happening. So I really feel like bot is where Atlantis need to park themselves. Don't know if you can now with the Aegis available on the PL. Becomes a much riskier prospect.
Gotta get out. Get out, get out. So, we won't be able... Oh, might actually. They know we went to the north. Wonderboy not hitting the slight, so... Cancels off one of the avenues out. And... The TP is just still chilling for the moment. But you do get a lot of information. Pretty much all of Atlantis showing bottom, so you see instantly Bell at the top, trying to shove out that lane, put some pressure onto the tier 1. Can now mean their own jungle is relatively safe.
Top tower is under attack.
Oh, it's very clear that Neon are under a lot of stress right now. Like, Avatar mode has a Philosopher's Stone as his neutral item when there's a Nether Shawl and a Vambrace available, two great items for him to be able to have. Maybe not so much the Nether Shawl, because you're already getting burst so heavily by the physical damage, but, I mean, even just little things like the Visage holding onto a trusty shovel, Bane having a broom handle when you've got a lot of these higher impact neutral items available. It feels like they're playing scared right now, and for good reason. 14k down at the 20-minute mark.
You're about to have a heart completed on Mango Rose as well. Just needs the...
What?
Oh, actually, never mind. Sorry. I didn't see the recipe. Okay. My bad. He's still a bit away. Okay. I was... yeah, my reaction was very similar to yours. They got it. Wow. Okay.
I feel like they're saying, okay, well, you can't contest this without the BKB, and still going to be about 1,200 gold away for the Leshrac, so why not push onto the higher ground? We've got about a, what, 4-level advantage across all of our cores.
Just force them back. Honestly, a lot of damage, pretty much half the health pool of the tier 3 tower going down. They might be able to get a pick off on Ponyo. This is a pretty big kill because he has a gem, but he's relatively tanky. 1,600 health. They'll get the kill and they raid in. They're onto Chuan though, behind the T2 tower. Familiar stun. There's the first into the second, but Chuan will not make it up safely to the high gun. Avatar mode a little bit too late with the stun as Mango Rose is able to close the distance. So a 1-for-1 die. Yeah, it's important. You get the kill, you get the gem, but your objectives are still falling.
It's one of those things that just had to happen. We've got Ser here. He's holding on to a lot of gold. You would have to assume that he's wanting that Aghanim shard for himself, right? Like, it's still going to be very good at doing multiple things, being able to contest against the PL, to enable the survivability for your Leshrac, even just for pushing out waves. Like, that is not something that a Bane is known for, but I feel like it's something that he has to do.
Well,
Doesn't even TP out immediately. Well,
refresh the coddles.
Oh, they tried for it.
Yeah.
But he's making a lot of space right now on set.
Okay. They're gonna have. Alright, so double BKB is the last fight for Neon. If they lose that fight, this game's over. So
yeah, they'll have Wraith backed as well in 700 gold. So that's another thing.
They are, yeah. This is going to be the last fight. You're gonna get a bunch of items at that same stage. Sesh, like you said, should have the shard, although still picking up some gold for him. So, do they look to wrap around? Do you think they can take a head-on fight? Who's the number one target they have to get rid of on Neon?
You're saying, can Neon fight into Atlantis?
Yeah, like, because with this next fight coming up, do they take a head-on-head fight? Do they have to smoke and wrap around and get the supports?
I mean, they're still needing to farm, right? Monkey King doesn't have his BKB yet. He's very close. And Lesh has got it. You don't have the Wraith Pact. You have to contend against the Aegis for another 50 seconds. I feel like this is just more stalling for now. Let's see what the lane situation is like when the Aegis isn't available anymore. Your tower's getting hit. The glyph just came up as well, so they're going to be able to hold this one back for a little bit, but they just popped it a little bit early. So
Chuan is dying. Chuan is dying from bang on PL. There's a T4 towers, guys. Mango Rose is going deeper and deeper. He doesn't give a damn. Phantom Lancer with the completed heart is just splitting the fight into half, and now WS is going to join them as well. It's party time for Atlantis. They can turn to Bell afterwards. The Monkey King protected for the BKB, but that's not the usage you were looking for.
Spend your gold, my man. You have 2,000 gold previously. Buying back didn't cost that much. You gotta do something with all this, right? Like, you can't just sit back while your lane's getting pushed, while PL's diving tier 4 towers and holding on to 1,500 gold.
Oh, they're gonna have no familiars as well. One familiar. Oh.
Wraith Pack still 250
yeah, good luck.
gold away.
Mega Rose is gonna 1v5 you guys. They also get the ultimate coming through from the Dawnbreaker. Avatar mode, a defensive BKB, but they're going to target everyone else instead. Wonder Boy to Bell. They'll drag him back towards the barracks, the remnants of the Monkey King's body, getting laid down as Atlantis, the open qualifier team, dropping Neon down to their second series loss. Wow, what a Game 3 performance so from Atlantis.
Really came down to the draft for mine. I mean, they opened with so much single target, and you just got PL'd. It's a big mistake on Neon's end for mine. It's not learning from their mistakes. It's going back into the same thing, perhaps a little bit arrogantly, thinking that this was going to be something that you're able to get away with, especially Atlantis having that first pick overall. I feel like Ayad played another fantastic game. The Dawnbreaker was great as that aggressive POS 5 response to the Visage. And yeah, some of the itemization choices, again, just weren't on point. Not buying anything with all the gold that he was saving for a long time. He did a great job of making space, but for what? Same sort of thing with the Leshrac. Going into the Yule Scepter, really felt like you would have got so much more value if you had that BKB early on, and it felt like they never had a chance this game. I mean, I want to see when the win probability got out of hand. It was 15 minutes, let's say, but I would have honestly put it earlier, considering how all the lanes went.
Yeah, really, it just felt like...
What can you say?
Yeah,
I died. The cause did not die a single time on Atlantis.
Issues from the draft. Regardless, you gotta... I want to go back to the Monkey King pick. I feel like the way they were going to deal with the Leshrac was with WS having a good game, because I think that's how you kill Lesh early on, with the CK having a very good game and being able to have high levels in Reality Rift and blow him up with the low armor. So I don't know what else you could have picked. Like we both mentioned Tiny and Sven for the possibility, just because to deal with all the illusions, but I don't know what hero you could have also picked that would have not got ran over in the lane, because you lose your lane, CK gets farmed, CK is then an answer to the Leshrac in the early game, and you need your Lesh to snowball, because that is ultimately the way you're going to deal with the PL. So I think they're going to look back at, in particular, that pick, and if there's something else they could have gone for.
I think it was the best pick available to them at that time. It was just multiple other things, right? Choosing to go the few points of the Jingo Mastery when you really don't want to contest this lane at all. I said he probably could have gotten away with 1, but I would have understood 0 as well, just going that full farming build. And then the mid tier 1 fight, choosing to show up to it with just a javelin finished up, and I think he had the power treads at the time, but nothing beyond that. It was just a bunch of little choices that snowballed into so much more because you just were not able to contest against this really solid Atlantis draft. So big congrats coming through to them.
Yeah, big congrats. And I think now for their next opponents, of course, well, their first series again was against a very difficult team in Execration, who we both put Execration and Army Geniuses being the two teams to make it out.
Especially Execration.
Yes. So I think for Atlantis, you have to be very happy with how you just started off your tour. We saw game 1, there were definitely some mistakes, but the fact that you have they didn't repeat those mistakes in the following games, and now also you're going to be able to look back, clean up on those couple of things, watch out for the TPs, and just overall, like, you just beat Neon. That's going to be a huge confidence boost for them. And at the end of the day, like, it definitely feels like we have a clear top 3. I don't know about the rest. So the fact that
I don't think anything's clear. I don't think anything's clear yet. I think you've still got plenty of games to play. We're just at the start-ish of week number 2. So I think wait for a little bit more stuff to play out because it's really close across the board.
Okay, but yeah, for Atlantis, regardless, so the open qualified team being able to take down Neon, this is a huge series victory for them. And for Neon, they're still left trying to find the answers. Of course, the new roster, you bring in Abel, you bring in Serch, 1 to the 4. It's not working for them currently. So hopefully they're able to fix a couple of things and then set themselves up. Of course, we did see they had some good games, they had some good moments. So there's nothing to dwell on too much for them. But just really looking towards that next series, though. We are waiting, also real quick, we are waiting to see if we do have an interview or not. So just to keep everyone updated.
Yeah, and even if the interview doesn't end up going forward, make sure you stick around because we have that Div 1 action coming up shortly after this. Pretty solid series coming through. I mean, 2 of the teams that were contesting in that Division 1 in the first season of the CDPC in Enigma Galaxy C taking on Talon. That should be a really hype series. And then Polaris versus SMG. It really, we were talking just before about how even it is across the board with the execration exception, probably in Div 2. Div 1, probably a similar sort of mentality. You know, Fnatic and Boom probably a tiny little bit ahead, but SMG Polaris both winless at this stage, and then Talon and Enigma C both have 1 series win so far. So it's really going to be another one of those series that starts to separate people from the pack a little bit sooner. Of course, Talon would absolutely love to be 2-0 to be able to begin their DPC tour.
Yeah, without a doubt. Because, of course, I think Div 1 is ridiculously competitive. Like, there's no real bottom 2 there. Feels like, I think it was actually Park that was mentioning it on the panel, saying there's like you could say top 3 with T1, Fnatic, and Boom. Even that was said.
Put T1 there anymore.
I was going to say that was said before RSG beat them. But hang on, I'm just trying to work out the interview. We are getting a player, I believe, but they're shy and we still don't know who. So we should be getting an interview. Right, but
be nice to them, Lockie, okay? It's Wonder Boy.
Okay. Well, I'm always a nice person. We've got Wonder Boy waiting, so we will drag him in. Wonder Boy, you there? Hello?
Hello?
Hello. Okay. I heard you're shy.
Kinda.
Don't worry, we're nice. It'll be fine. So congratulations on the big win. I just want to talk about, I suppose, how you're feeling, because this is the first time a lot of people would have had the chance to hear from you. What do you want the fans to know about the way that yourself as well as Atlantis play Dota?
First of all, I feel very proud with my team that we still managed to win second and third, even though first game I think we should win, but we did a big mistake. And then, yeah, I think that's all.
Lockie?
I was going to ask, in regards to game 1 with the the loss, what do you guys do in the break? Do you sit down for like 10 minutes and try and work out some of the mistakes, or you just go get a drink, get some food, and chill real quick before game two?
Actually, after the game finished, first game, right? Then we discussed about like I think we are playing too scared. Um, I feel like we should like play aggressive more at first game because the early game kind of weak. I think. Yeah, we should
Okay.
keep going on them at first game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to ask you a question, not about yourself, but about your carry, Mango Rose. We saw him
Yeah.
in game number 1 play the Morphling, and then games 2 and 3 play the Phantom Lancer. And he's Grandmaster on both of these heroes. So does this guy just never stop playing? What's going on here? Does he only ask for heroes that he's leveled up to 30?
I guess he's spamming the hero a lot. You wanna ask him? I can ask him to come.
Yeah, go on, ask
Yeah,
him.
Mango, come. Come. Wait a second. He asked you. Hello.
Hello, Mango Rose.
Yeah.
We were saying you played the Morphling and the Phantom Lancer. What's the deal? I mean, they're two heroes that you've got up to Grandmaster level 30. Are we going to see a little bit more versatility moving forward, or are these just your two favorite heroes right now?
So after the first game we lost, I think I'm just being too passive, so I wanted to like play my comfort heroes.
Sounds good. And
So
it
I just
worked out really well for you. Were you
yeah.
surprised in game 3 that they let you have the Phantom Lancer after how well you did in game number 2, and as well with that draft opening where something like a Phantom Lancer would have punished their first 3 picks?
Yes. I think they are just too stubborn, I guess. They didn't want to ban the PL. I think they can fight PL with their MK.
Cool. And I just want to ask you about PL in particular as well. Obviously, it's an illusion hero. It doesn't really like buying BKB, so the nerfs to the BKB doesn't really affect him. Do you think that that's pushed him up a lot in terms of how strong he is in the meta?
Um Not really, I guess, because this hero is still too weak at the laning phase. So maybe they need to buff him a bit more on the laning.
Sounds good. That's what I like to hear. Always just buff my heroes because they're not strong enough. Yeah, congratulations. I don't have any questions left. Do you have anything, Lockie?
I've got one more question for you, Mangaroos. I'm intrigued. Is there a difference in regards to the item build for Phantom Lancer against the Leshrac matchup?
I think you can go for Hood or Mage Slayer. It depends. Personally, I like Hood more.
Thank you. I was just intrigued if there was any difference when you're versing a Leshrac, because of course Leshrac is probably one of the most difficult matchups for the Phantom Lancer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very
Congratulations.
much.
You guys
Yes.
played very well.
Yes, you
Thank
guys
you.
looked incredible. Thank you for the interview. Also, give Wonderboy a thank you as well from us.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. There we go. Danog, that is Atlantis taking the series victory, and what a beautiful victory for them to be able to find as well. They're gonna take it 2-1. I was checking to see if Wonderboy was gonna say something in the end as well, but he's jumped out. Wasn't gonna say bye. That's
He's a
okay.
shy boy. All right.
That's okay.
He was a very nice guy, both of them, honestly. And you love to see the players genuinely happy with how they were able to come back. And the big word for mine was, I'm happy for my team. That was immediately what came out from Wonderboy there. So great to see that they were able to rally back after what would have been a pretty demoralizing loss in game number 1, 27-minute defeat, to be able to come back in such strong fashion in games 2 and 3.
I did tell him to go say hi and then thank you for us. So I just wasn't sure. I was keeping my eye on the Discord if he was going to say anything. But yeah, and like you said, just important for them. And also one thing to notice, they're playing together as in a team house. I imagine everyone is there. Of course, Atlantis, I wasn't sure if that was the case or not. So hopefully this is able to help out, of course, with their team building. And they seem... It sounds like they are enjoying playing with each other, and they're able to sit down after that game 1 loss. Of course, they don't have a lot of experience compared to some of the other teams. So just the fact that they could take that loss in stride, learn from it a little bit in the break, and then move on and look very good in game 2 and game 3. So this is big signs for Atlantis.
Yeah, for sure. And I think just talking about Neon as well, Atlantis was saying they were a little bit stubborn with what they were able to do. Mango Rose obviously saying that from game 2 to 3, he thought that they should probably change something up. Not necessarily, like he said, banning out the PL, but even just picking better heroes that had the potential to play well against the Phantom Lancer. And it feels like Atlantis, they've got that flexibility. I mean, we saw it between games 1 and 2, where they're able to change up their style, play not as scared, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be like losing because you're just sitting back and waiting for the enemy team to make a mistake. It feels like they have the confidence to back each other and say, we've got the stuff to beat teams like Neon, very established organization within the SEA region, and they did. 2-1, very valuable victory for them, which means Neon, they're the lucky or unlucky last, actually, without a win in Div 2. But they're going to have plenty of chances in the remaining weeks to hopefully claw their way back.
Hopefully hone on their skills and just be able to really work out what is going wrong for Neon. But like you said, they've got plenty of time to be able to do so. But if you're looking to be promoted, you need to make a run now. Honestly, you pretty much need to win every series now for Neon, because it's going to be tricky at the top. But that is our first series done and dusted, and Division 2 is done for the night as well. We're going to be moving over to Division 1. Our first series is Talon against Enigma Galaxy C. We'll see you guys after the break.